Hello and welcome to Circle of Wisdom, starring Tarot Master Christopher OneFeather. Circle of Wisdom is a webcam talk show series where we reveal the mysteries of tarot divination. My name is Iwona White. I'm an Archangel reader and Orasoma practitioner, and we are welcoming our host, seasoned psychic, tarot master, and self-published author Christopher OneFeather.
And thank you. It is a wonderful, wonderful kind of spring, summer day here in Chicago, in the heart of America. And Iwona, I assume that you guys are having spectacular weather in Vienna, finally.
Yes, we do. It's really, really warm. People are wearing summer shoes finally and shirts with no sleeves, so it's beautiful. It's sunshine, blue skies, wonderful.
So it's that kind of the world is alive with the sound of music kind of spring there now, finally, huh?
Yes, totally. And just today, because you say Sound of Music, I was in Vienna State Opera, and it was awesome because I bumped into some members of the National Choir, and they just had rehearsal for La Traviata.
Ah, beautiful, yes. And Vienna also is the home of that astonishing group of youngsters, the Vienna Boys Choir. So,
oh yes.
Have you had occasion to perhaps work with them?
No, me not. But they are located in a part of Vienna. It's called the second district, and they have a new concert hall since 2 years that was built especially for the Wiener Sängerknaben, the Vienna musical. How do you say that? Sängerknaben. I don't even know how to say that in English. I think this word doesn't even exist. The singing boys, we could say. So they built a very beautiful new hall, and I already was there to watch some performances. It's beautiful.
Oh, wonderful! Yes, those kids, when they come to America on tour, they are astonishing and brilliant, and you get that sense of the purity of of spirit within their youth. So
yes, exactly, and they have those cute little marine dresses and hats, and it's really, really nice to watch. And a lot of friends of mine that are now singers started in the boys' choir, so it's very famous here.
yes, yeah, they have a tremendous reputation for grooming performers that end up landing all over the world and come to the heights.
Exactly.
So now you are in fact a Gemini, and
oh yes, I am.
and the sun is actually going to spotlight you for an entire month here. So you're going to be stage center, like Carmen, in the midst of all of the vitality of the drama of life, and you're going to be feeling those all the warmth and the richness of the sun's energy being returned to the sign of Gemini.
Wonderful. I was waiting for this period because I have to say Taurus was pretty heavy for me. So, I mean, the energy was heavy, weighing down, and I was really looking forward to this airy, breezy, sunny energy in Gemini.
Yes, well, today, as we speak, the sun hasn't fully gotten into Gemini. It's at 0 degrees Gemini, 32 minutes. And that basically means 30 degrees, 0 degrees of Gemini is 30 degrees of Taurus. So we're right on that, that passage between the two, which, interestingly enough, is exactly where my ascendant is. My ascendant is 29 degrees of Taurus, and so as the sun is moving through that region right now, it's illuminating my chart also. And today is an ideal day for our collaboration on our program here because the sun is in Gemini.
Wonderful. Yes. Wonderful. So we are both illuminated today.
Yes, and in addition to that, the sun is in Gemini at 0 degrees. The moon is in Pisces at 2 degrees. So we've got the sun. Yeah,
my moon is in Pisces.
Yes, and my sun is in Pisces. So how cool is that?
Yeah, that's very cool, I have to say. Wow, it's always worth to look in the stars and see what's up there, so you can really, really find interesting things.
Well, and you know, one of the things that's very cool about astrology is you can always find a point in astrology that gives you a sense of it's all right. You know, no matter how unhappy you are, no matter how frustrated with conditions in your life you are, if you look to the stars, you'll see, oh, well, I've got this sextile coming
Mhm.
up here, I've got this trine coming up here, and the doors are going to start opening for new action, new activity. So that's one of the reasons that we go to the charts when we're kind of feeling the blues, is we can get that sense of I'm not stuck in a you know a situation where there's no change. There is going to
Exactly.
be change.
Yeah, and talking about change, Master One Feather, we have something else that's very important today, or even started yesterday. It's Mars that's going direct again, no?
Yes, absolutely. And finally, a lot of people who have felt like their life was on a holding pattern, you know, they're sitting in their little airplanes thinking, I'm going to run out of fuel here if I can't get this airplane to land. Well, now we're going to see that holding pattern end, and all of the old projects, all of the old energy from the last 9 months really is finally going to you're finally going to get that sense of release from that as Mars starts to pick up speed. So over the next 3 weeks, a lot of people who have felt like they were really stuck in some area of their
Mm.
life, they're going to start feeling the advance of Mars and feeling that new energy of you know, the male. We've got to break down the doors. We've got to climb the walls. We've got to make things change. So
That's really good news, I have to say. I think a lot of us were waiting for this surge of energy and our spirit and life force coming back.
yes, and you know Mars. A lot of people they have reservations about Mars and Aries because I mean Mars in Libra because it's in opposition to Mars's
Mhm.
natal home, which is in fact Aries. And the way I flip that because I think you can flip every interpretation and look at
Mhm.
the other side of it. And in fact, Mars in Aries is a concentration on me, my personal stuff. I want to get my flat tire fixed. I want to get my car going. But when it hits Libra, Libra is all about community. So now we've got that Mars energy in a sign of community. And so now it's going to activate that. Let's all of us get together. Let's all of us create a better week. Let's
Mhm.
all of us create a better vision. So you're going to be able to rally people. You're going to be able to get people to come on board your boat and take a cruise with you. So how much fun could that be? A nice Mediterranean cruise to the Greek Isles.
Oh yes, we were waiting so long for that, Master One Feather. And you know what? I'm just amazed how the timing of show works because we are having Mars going direct from yesterday today on, and today we arrived at the fourth card in the tarot in the big arcana, which is the Emperor. So how cool is that?
That is very synchronistic, but you know, it's just once you start to enter the flow, once you surrender your desire to change the world and just allow the world to support your journey, and you get in flow, you notice synchronicity all over the place. And
Mhm.
yes, that is very synchronistic. And I think a lot of events that we experience, you know, together here on the show, as you're producing the show for me, which I do appreciate. I
Thank you
think
so much.
that we see a lot of synchronicity come in, you know, so I think that when you are really concentrating on cooperation, boy, is that an important word. Cooperation
Yes.
is the word of the day.
Again,
And
Libra.
yes, and once again, the idea of the emperor uh, gives us that vision of okay, we've got our leader, and our leader
Mm.
is, you know, he's got that higher vision. And now, if we all cooperate, if we all are in support of this energy, then the next step is results. We see things begin to happen for us. So
Absolutely. And as you are saying that at our favor. Also last week, I mean, we had this new Empress of Europe, and then we had the Empress card, and so on. So it's really, really fascinating to watch. And even when you pulled for this, for the what was it, the sun, the eclipse. You remember the eclipse? You
mhm.
pulled the sun card and stuff like that, and then for the moon eclipse, you pulled the devil card. So it's really amazing. People, please watch the preceding episodes to see all those things, because it's really amazing. So I'm really happy we are doing this show, and it's really a wonderful adventure.
It absolutely is, and I think that one of the things that occurs once you get into that slipstream, and once you get to moving, um, you find that you do in fact create an alternative community to the one that you were living with, uh, because within that process, within that journey, um, what occurs is you step into a position where newness, synchronicity, um, or synchronistically starts to arrive
Mm.
in your life. And speaking of that, I had this is just a little aside, a brief story, and then we'll advance with other things here. But um, 15 years ago, I was doing readings up in Evanston, Illinois, and I had a young fellow come in with his girlfriend by the name of Oliver Rosebaum, and Oliver and I just clicked. I mean, it was just there was a definite empathetic connection. I knew what he was thinking. I knew what he was feeling, and I did a reading for him, and then we stayed in contact. And he was just off on an adventure. He was a native of New York. He had come to Chicago to hang out with his girlfriend before he was going to go to Asia. Well, he did in fact go to Asia, and he spent 2 years in Asia meandering around. And he would send me his blog, and he would send me, these little private notes of I experienced this, I experienced that. And for me, it was very rewarding because I had been in Vietnam in the 60s, and he went to Vietnam to begin his journey, and then he went by bike and motorcycle, etc., through Burma and Thailand, and um, had quite an adventure over a 2 year span. But anyway, he contributed immensely to my life, and he gave me an infusion of information as to what was going on in those regions that I'm very fond of. And then, like many friendships, we just kind of drifted apart, and I hadn't heard from Oliver in, at least 5 years, maybe 7. And this morning I got a person by the name of Oliver Applebaum. So we got Rosenbaum
Mm.
and now Applebaum. And
Yes.
Oliver had reached out to me about some things around tarot, and he is in Australia. But synchronistically, both Olivers have this fascination with Asia because Oliver Applebaum, who had just recently connected with me, had spent the last couple of years meandering around in Thailand, and I don't know if he's been in Vietnam yet, but he's been in that same general region. So you think about how all these different components in your life fit together like a puzzle. There are all these astonishing connections that we have. The real trick is not to get seduced by the fact that we have all of this stuff going on. If you try to put a label on it, if you overanalyze it, if you turn it into something, then you lose the true essence of these
Mm.
events in your life, because they are there to validate that you're on the journey. They're not showing up to cause you to question or cause you to doubt or cause you to stop and analyze things. They're just saying you're on the journey, you're having fun. Look at this. This is the universe in support of all of these processes going on in
Mm.
the universe you do inhabit. So that's pretty amazing.
Yes, it is Master OneFeather.
Anyway,
And what is also what is also amazing is that we didn't see until today, we didn't see the wonderful pictures from your tarot, metaphysical tarot workbook. So we would love you to show us the pictures from cards 0 to 4 maybe today, if you have them here.
Well, I think Christopher, who is doing the dirty work there in the trenches, I think he's got everything ready. So perhaps Christopher can bring up the images of the illustrations I created for the book.
Oh, wonderful. As I see, they are more black and white. So are those drawings, or are they made done in another technique, Master OneFeather?
They are, in fact, pen and ink drawings that I put into my scanner. I scanned them, and then I enhanced them.
Wonderful.
So that
I see. I recognize some of them. So I see the tower. I see the sun. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Wow.
And all of the pen and ink drawings were done as I was, sitting at my desk in places that I would read at. So I did readings in various areas around Chicago and Wisconsin, and between clients I would sit there and do these illustrations. So you can see that's the Fool card.
Wow. Oh, that's the Fool, yes, exactly. And I see the dog.
Yes, that's Dogma, the little puppy Dogma, nipping at your heels. And the first one that Christopher had up for us was
the Magician, no? Was
yes.
it the Magician? Yes. Wonderful.
So we've got, this is a Fool, this is 0, there's the Magician.
Ah, yes, there it is.
Yeah, he looks a little,
he
he looks a little bit unkempt, he's a magician, but I don't think he's refined his craft that thoroughly yet. But nonetheless, he is working on that and evolving forward.
Wonderful.
And
you know what I really love? I love that you can see the sun and the moon in most of the pictures. That's very interesting, Master OneFeather.
Yes, I do try to keep all the elements balanced out, because we're over and over again, we're reinforcing that idea that we are dealing with a universe that is created around the idea of duality. And so you're also going to have the male and female, the sun and the moon, the
Oh, here we go, the lovers.
Yes, exactly. And
yeah, male and female.
Yeah, Christopher was a little bit embarrassed by this illustration because we had nudity going on. And we know what he can be such a prude at times, so having that nudity there is very...
I'll show off.
The star.
The star. I'm loving the star, actually, Master OneFeather. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is a woman who has managed to maintain perky breasts in spite of all of the travail in her life. So
that is a star.
Yes, that is a star.
Amazing.
So, anyway, yes.
Wonderful. Those are really beautiful illustrations, I have to say. I really like them a lot.
And I will make sure that Christopher is getting ready to do something new. He's got a new adventure coming up before too much longer, and I'll let him announce those circumstances. But when the new adventure arrives, you'll be able to find all of the individual illustrations on the new Soul Garden site, which is in the process of being birthed.
Yes.
Wonderful. We are all looking forward to see all of this. And meantime, you can really, if you want, go down to soulmart.me, and there you can find the Metaphysical Tarot Workbook, and you can purchase it. And you find also links to join the show or book a reading with Master OneFeather. So, Master OneFeather, should we proceed with today's card, possibly, with the Emperor?
Yes, and I will, in fact, pull up from my book a little bit of dialogue about the Emperor, and it states here, The Emperor is a symbol of wisdom gained from life's challenges. Every time you walk into that brick wall, every time you know, stumble and fumble, you're gaining information. You're learning what to do and what not to do. And so, you know, the Emperor is a symbol of wisdom gained from life's challenges. Sure knowledge that with the power of right thought, because it's all happening up here, and right action, the realm can be secured, peace restored throughout the land, and prosperity can now be enjoyed. Dominion is a word I often come up with when this card appears, for it is through the dominion of the mind that our world is created. So that gives you a sense of where I'm going in my particular book, my particular interpretation. And yes?
That's wonderful information. But, you know, as we are looking around in our times, I also see other aspects of the Emperor in this world. Like, for instance, I don't know, malpractice and also abuse of positions and power, or rigidity, stubbornness, sometimes even violence. This can be the negative part of the Emperor. Can it?
Well, it's very Martian. So yes, Mars is definitely the symbol of war, and war is not always a good thing. It's sometimes we can justify it. Oh, we had to save ourselves, so you know we had to take out the neighbors, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's once again that idea of duality shows up on both sides. And you know, it's interesting because another image that is highlighted in a lot of decks is that idea of the eagle or the hawk in the sky. You'll look at the Emperor card, and somewhere up in the sky there's a raptor flying around. And in the deck I created, the eagle is an image that suggests attaining a loftier height, because you know the Emperor is sitting up there at the top of the mountains, surveying the realm, and you can realize the expanse of your domain and the expanse of your understanding and your wisdom that you've gained. So so you can get a sense of what's coming, you know, from this loftier area. You can see what you're manifesting. You can get that idea of, oh, I'm creating this. This is going to be chaotic, and maybe I should stop doing that. So we do have to get up to a higher level in order to really kind of take on that energy of the Emperor. If we're doing it on the lower level, yes, then we have chaos, we have attack, we have the darker side of Mars energy.
So would you mind to show us the card from your deck that you're using today, the Emperor card?
I think that would be a good idea. And
let's see what symbols we have there.
Well, my deck is the Robin Wood Tarot deck, and the Emperor card looks like this, and you can see it's really quite a magnificent. He has a little bit of that presence of Santa Claus, you know, and maybe a little bit of the energy of Solomon, the wise ruler of the realm. The Emperor again has a kind of a fire presence, you know, associating with Mars. You always think of Aries or Leo or the three fire signs, Sagittarius, and they like their clothes. You know, they're clothes horses. They like to have a good wardrobe. So you can see the Emperor is very well dressed, and he's got his bling on. He's into bling. But
I have a very similar one here. Look, this is also with a lot of bling.
Yes, yeah. The Emperor is, I guess you could say, pomp and circumstance, and but generally on that card somewhere you will see the head of the ram. On the particular card that I've got, you can see it on the handles of his throne. And in the background, you don't have blue mountains here. You have these rugged peaks. You know, so again, the implication is you're going above that line of tree growth. You're getting up into the stratosphere here. and attaining a very, very high position in your realm so that you can have the foresight to anticipate what's going to happen.
Wonderful. So it's really also what we are talking about is a very, very important topic for where our society is going to, because our society, as we know it, is of course patriarchate. So so what we were just talking about would be like the optimum to evolve to, like letting this egoistic, not letting those egoistic things influence our society so much, and the power struggle and all the wars and everything, but to ascend over all of this, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, Rudolf Steiner wrote a lot about the mechanics of society, and he was very much a man who was aware of the dualistic nature and seeing the tribal society, which he tried to enhance in the eyes of his peers, because he put together the Waldorf school vision, and he really advanced the ideas of getting back to organic, natural farming techniques.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
he was actually Austrian, you know that?
Oh yes, absolutely, yes. And I've often wondered, because I am so completely aligned with everything that he was invested in, if I was not him in a past lifetime, perhaps I was one of his close chums.
Oh, that's why we know each other, Master OneFeather.
That could very well be, because in that era, you know, the 1920s, the 1930s, I find that a very comfortable era. I like the fashion. I like the, you know, a lot of the presence of that era is really something that I find myself very aligned with. But anyway, it is. You know, it is a very powerful card, and we are in an era now where we don't want to see the two powerful elements, the Empress and the Emperor, in conflict or struggle. We want them to become co-rulers of the domain that we inhabit, and it's not going to happen in society until the individual recognizes within them there is a need for you to embrace your tribal heritage, the feminine side, the creative, and the hidden, the intuitive realm, as well as the masculine side, the power to initiate, the power to marshal your forces, the power to do what we're doing. You know, I mean, we stand up or sit down, in my case, and talk to people, but you know, we're taking time and trying to put a positive influence into the process of society by sharing. And so taking action is the Emperor, it is the masculine. So it really is all about balancing both elements within.
Wonderful. So we finally came back to Libra again, sharing and balancing. So wonderful. We closed the circle.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, Master OneFeather, would you mind to pull the first card for today? Let's say for Mars going direct. What will Mars direct bring for us?
Well, that would be, now this is an interesting card. This is not a card that I when you asked me the question, I would not have immediately thought of this.
Okay.
The card that came up is the Queen of Cups.
Oh, interesting.
And I think, again, this is getting us to that region of vulnerability. And I think that Mars, as it advances in Libra, is going to cause us to want to address issues of defensiveness, issues of being insulated, because, again, that idea of Libra is community. So I think that, you know, the Queen of Cups is all about healing, regeneration, courtship. That's a beautiful word for that energy that we find entrenched in Libra. And perhaps we'll see relationships coming into review. Perhaps we're going to see opportunities to heal old emotional wounds as Mars exerts this burst of energy.
Hmm. I could talk about that all day, but it looks like we have some people in the chat room already. So
Yes.
maybe we start with the first person, which is Kay Bergeau, a Libra Sun. So here we go again with synchronicity.
Well, yeah, and Kay, you know,
Heal
we've been
will be
babbling
available to
about.
support her initiative.
Well,
Oops.
we've been babbling about how the fact that Mars is going to give Libra a big advance. It's going to open the door. Now, this is, see, again, we get synchronicity. The sign of Libra, Justice card, the scales, balancing
Oh,
things
wow.
out. So I would say over the next 30 days, that next career option is going to make itself available, make itself present. Now, again, Mars is impetus. You know, it's like the universe is prodding you. You can't sit at home and say, gee, I just wish that perfect job would land on my doorstep. This means that you've got to start looking around. You've got to start cultivating people. You've got to start communicating. Mars loves to initiate, so you're going to have to reach out, have dialogue, have interaction. And I think that you'll see something appear that will turn out to be a good move. Initially, it may appear to be a lateral move where you're thinking, well, I'm not making a huge amount of advance here, but ultimately, when you look more deeply into it, you see the potential for growth, for opportunity, and for being able to enhance your survival situation is going to be attached to this next opportunity.
Oh, very good. That sounds very good, Master OneFeather. So the next person we have here is EB Live, and I guess she wants to call, but she also has a very special question for you. She's saying, I have had a headache and a hot forehead for weeks, so between her eyebrows and eyes, and if you have any suggestion for her on herbs besides cool tea bags.
Yeah, well, number one, your this region here is trying to awaken. That's basically that sixth chakra zone, and it actually goes from right between the eyes here all the way up to the crown of your head. I know in my life in 1996 and 97, I would have extreme periods of going around for 3 or 4 months at a time where I would have tingling sensation, I would have heat, I would have all these different weird things happening. And when it first happened, after about 3 weeks of that, I went to the hospital. I said, I don't know what's happening. Am I going to die? And they said, you know, your BP's fine, this is fine, that's fine, don't worry about it. And actually, when we have certain chakras that are really wanting to break themselves loose, you will find that kind of process will occur. And it's saying you're doing something that is in resistance to allowing the energy to flow through that region. So the hot tea bags and all of those wonderful things are, they're simply they're simply not going to give you results. What you have to do is recognize that there is the next level of awakening is right at the threshold. And if you work with that, if you give yourself permission to move your consciousness up to that upper level and operate on that level of the 5th, 6th, and 7th chakras, really see yourself living you know, more in contact with spirit, you'll find that things will start to calm down. And you're a Virgo, so you know Virgo is very earthy, and it's very difficult for Virgos to let go of their body. And this is not saying that you're going to all of a sudden start popping out of your body and start, you know, having these horrific experiences. It's merely saying that you can relax and allow yourself to integrate this energy throughout your body. And this part from the 4th chakra up has been an area that you haven't been really flowing with. So, and you know, you can go online and find different information about that 6th chakra, because that's the region that is really vibrating right now, that is really trying to break free. But I think more importantly, you're going to have to do the inner work of being able to release your attachment to physical sensation in order for that energy to flow.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marianne. Would you also like to pull a card for her, for EB Live?
Yes. Overall, her card for this week, now this is all synchronicity once again, you know, she's feeling some regrets about old relationships and old interactions with people from the past. She has had some, you know, some wounds that she still hasn't addressed. She's had some conditions, some circumstances in her life arrive where relationships really turned into train wrecks, and right now that part of her consciousness is wanting to heal, and it's like the cancer energy in some ways. The crab is trying to get out of its shell, and she's in need of human interaction. She's in need of receiving compassion and at the same time giving compassion to those around her. So really the biggest part of the cure is getting out, socializing, being with people, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, and forgiving all of the elements in your past that you still are holding on to, where there were emotional wounds that came through.
Okay. So it's all about healing and opening up at the same time. Wonderful. Okay.
Yes.
So the next question is from Chris Kuhn. She's a Virgo as well, and she's looking for insight into her living situation and destiny unfolding in general.
Well, the major theme for Chris right now is you're on the threshold of a major shift. This is the Ten of Cups. And within that, we have the idea of wish fulfillment, attaining that which is your heart's desire. But it's not just about you. It's about either your personal family, the biological family, or your family that you have cultivated over the years. It looks like you're right on the verge of stepping into a new cycle here that is going to bring advancement, not just for you, but it's going to be a door opener for your tribe, for the group that you're part of. So I think you will see your life getting better, and at the same time the lives of those that you are deeply bonded with starting to go through some positive change.
Wonderful.
I do see a strong potential of a move coming up at the end of July. So if you're thinking I need to relocate, I would look at that timeline as we move into Leo time as being when that is achievable.
Very good. So if you're watching us on the internet, you can join the conversation. You just have to navigate to tweettalk.tv, and there you will find the live chat room where you can meet the other viewers and the link to join the show live. So you can also reserve a seat for a mini reading in our studio audience for one of the next shows. So all of these options are available at tweettalk.tv. So, Master OneFeather, there is Victoria Rose also waiting for you. She's also a Libra sun and would like further insight to her career unfolding and love relationship as well.
Well, and again, you're definitely feeling the Mars energy, or you will start feeling it. You've been feeling the sluggish, you know, retrograde Mars energy. Now you'll feel the advances. And this shows some big breakthroughs coming up for you. The Six of Rods. So you are going to be making some new connections. You are going to see your career start to really mobilize, especially as we move solidly into Cancer time, which is about another month away. So it's going to be like that gradual takeoff of an airplane. It's like a nice curve, rather than a rocket ride straight up, you know, because you don't want to be a bottle rocket. You go up, you explode, and then, you know, everybody forgets about you. So success, attainment, and definitely advancing in a very good way right now.
Wow. Together with Mars. Wonderful. So, the next question is from Megan. She's a Cancer, and she's asking, where should I focus my energy to make the most money right now?
Well, Megan, you're thinking small, and the universe is saying expand your horizons. You're ready to connect with a bigger circle of individuals or resources to work with. So it's not really about narrowing your vision and getting to a point where you are over-focused on one small area. Right now, see yourself as living in a bigger realm, as living in a bigger life. I think that you're missing opportunities simply because you are trying to focus in on this very narrow range. And if you really relax and start journaling and start paying attention to your dreams, you're going to see that realm open up immensely, and you're going to be able to, it's like going from McDonald's and having your burger in front of you to going to a buffet and having the entire dinner tray available to you. So expand your vision. You're going to be seeing some amazing things coming in.
Very good. And then we have Anne-Marie Leclerc. She's an Aquarius and would love a card today, Master OneFeather.
Well, for Anne-Marie, we have, oh, nice. You're definitely going to be going with the movement to the advance of the universe also. The Wheel of Fortune, positive change. And, you know, all three of the air signs are going to start feeling this shifting energy right now because Mars will be interactive with Aquarius as well as with Gemini. So the air energy is definitely going to get that burst of the sun in Gemini, Mars in Libra, and so Aquarius is going to be up at the top of the chart receiving that beautiful upward flow.
That's a wonderful message. So, Master OneFeather, I was wondering if you could, if we could also pull a card for the Gemini season that just started today. So, what can we expect from Gemini season?
Okay, for the Gemini cycle, we have, interesting. What is Gemini all about? Well, Gemini is the twins. And the Two of Swords is not blockage, but it is that capacity to trust your inner vision. This person is blindfolded. This person is in a position where they can't recognize or they can't be influenced by sight and observation. You're being called upon to move into that region of trust, you know. So before you make decisions, Gemini and the other two air signs, this is a time when you have to go inside and say, you know, Spirit, what is in my best interest? I'm not going to make a snap decision. I'm not going to jump on things. I am going to go within and receive the inner guidance that I need.
Master OneFeather, interesting. Also, Mercury retrogrades, so in Gemini this year. So we really are going to go within, right? Yeah.
Oh, if we're clever, we will. If we're in resistance to the signals coming to us from the universe, absolutely. And I think that, you know, when a Mercury is in Gemini, and I'm not trying to set out a panic, but I think that simply because from what I've been observing on the net, this would be a good time to consider changing your passwords for all of your accounts that could compromise you financially. Because Gemini, being that natural ruler of Mercury and vice versa, a lot of financial activity is going to be affected when Mercury goes retrograde in Gemini. And so you really do want to make sure that your security levels have been pushed up so that you don't compromise yourself with, you know, a credit card that could lead to some kind of unpleasant outcome.
Oh, that's very good advice. I mean, Mercury is also known since ancient Greek times. It's the ruler of thieves as well, so I guess that could be true.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, communication is definitely mercurial. We did miss Lynn Nelson. She
Oh,
had
okay.
she wanted a card too, and so I just pulled one up here for her. And I got the Seven of Swords. So Lynn, this is a card of being very thorough. So before you sign a contract, before you make a commitment, think about it because something is unrevealed yet. So you need to look deeply into things going on around you right now and look for hidden things that you haven't caught. And as soon as you do, those things will become very obvious and you can keep yourself from getting into compromised conditions.
Okay. So I fear that's all the time we have this week, Master OneFeather. Thank you for sharing your precious time and your circles with us. And actually, the next show is a show that I'm really looking forward to a lot because it's exactly on my birthday, Master OneFeather.
Oh, wonderful. So we'll be getting that strong, strong presence of the sun that day from Vienna. Yes. How cool is that?
Exactly, exactly. So again, a synchronicity there for us. And we will be changing our time from that show on. So I'm also announcing now that we'll see you here next week on Wednesday, not on 12 p.m., but on 3 p.m. United States Eastern Time. So please note that it's 3 p.m., not 12 p.m., okay? And I would say we thank you for joining us on Circle of Wisdom today. I'm Archangel Reader Iwona, and we will ask you, Master OneFeather, for a parting wish, as we do every week.
Yes, and as we start to advance with this new airy kind of energy, I would say it is time to socialize. It is time to get out and spend time with friends, with people you haven't communicated with for a while. So as I am inclined to say over and over again, get out there, share the love, pass the love around, and you will find that your life takes on new meaning and new depth.
That's a wonderful message for the coming times. And I'm thanking you for today, and that was the show. Live, love, be.